One of the things that I've been battling here as I've been bringing to a close this novel that I've been working on for a little over a year, and it's actually a novel that I wrote in about probably 4 to 6 weeks in probably the spring, early spring of 2019. And I've kind of been editing it off and on for about probably the last, well, ever since then. So almost a year that I've been editing it off and on while also working on some other projects. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is sometimes one of the challenges is that you never think it's good enough. And so you have this anxiety about submitting it to other people, about putting it out there for other people to read it, whether it's beta readers or whoever, to give you some feedback on it and to subject yourself to the potential for criticism. And it's a challenge. And over the years, I've let people, I've used beta readers to help me to shape books, and some people who were family members and some who were non-family members to give me some critical advice and to let me know if I'm on the right path or if I'm just way out there in right field and I just have need to either blow it up or just to strip it down to the bare bones and then just build it back up. So it's interesting when you get that feedback. It's almost always really, really helpful, even if you let somebody read it that maybe is just nuts. Sometimes you'll find that within the nuttiness is something that can be helpful to you. Something that just sparks you to rethink something that you were doing that made sense at the time, but maybe as you sit back and you think about it, it's like, well, maybe that character was out of character more so later in the book than they were earlier in the book, or this is not realistically how somebody would react to this type of situation, or this is not realistically how your character as established earlier would react to something that happened later, and so you might have to make some adjustments. And it's good though to have other people to offer you input, because they see things that you maybe don't see quite as well, because you know what you meant, you know what you were thinking, but sometimes you might need somebody else to just kind of point it out there so you can see that maybe you missed something, or you didn't think about this maybe the way that somebody else would think about it, or the way that somebody else who is not emotionally attached to the work that went into it would necessarily see it. And so shake that anxiety and be willing to just put yourself out there to let other people look at it, let other people offer you their criticisms. Don't worry about things like what you're going to see in the comments section, the review section on Amazon, because you're going to see some nasty stuff and you just got to kind of brush it off and not let it bother you, because it's going to happen, and you're going to get some negative reviews. You're going to get people that say that's just totally implausible, there's no way that could ever possibly happen, what were you thinking here, this is stupid, this is not the way this would go down. And you take some of it that makes sense and you can make adjustments to it, and some things that don't make sense, you just let it go. And being comfortable by letting people offer you feedback, especially earlier in the process, will maybe even toughen you up for some of the criticism that you're going to receive later from people who are either trolls or who are pretty good impersonators of trolls with the things that they write, because they're detached from you. So a lot of times they're going to tend to be nastier. They're not going to necessarily be objective. And one misplaced comma or one typo to them means that your book is trash, and then they're going to let you have it. And so you got to be prepared for those kinds of things. So expose yourself early to constructive criticism by people who are going to help you to sharpen what you've written, sharpen your perspective, and to help you get better. And overcoming that anxiety is only going to help you become better in the long run.